using the Zoom as a live mixer. I went on a quest looking for a small mixer for my solo act because all my mixers are either way too big or they're lacking in features I found myself wanting. I found the L8. It's not just a mixer, it's a digital mixer, a 12x4 audio interface, and an 8-track digital recorder. This video is about using it in a live solo act or a small band and all the options to set it up to play your backing tracks. This is my Soundcraft Signature 10, which the L8 is replacing. Well, it's bigger, and it's 3 times the weight. It only has 7 channels, not 8, and it has 2 auxiliaries, not 3. The built-in effects are kind of next to useless, and I never use them. It's also only a 2x2 audio interface, and then, well, it has 72 knobs. The L8 only has 11. So, other than those knobs, the Soundcraft definitely has a lot less to offer. And it was $200 more than the L8. So yes, it's nice to have everything visible, but you soon get used to digital mixers and the fact that all those knobs have been replaced by a select button and just one set of controls. I thought I'd just go into the practical side of using this for a live solo act or your small band. I play as a solo, in a duo, and in a 3-piece band. So, with this mixer, we each get 2 channels, and then we have options for how we can connect the backing tracks. I found 6. Option number 1 is using an 1/8-inch stereo Y cable from a laptop or whatever into mixer channel 7 and 8. Now, you don't need to install the audio driver when you connect it this way, and this is helpful because my old Windows 7 laptop that I like to use is not supported by the Zoom's driver. An oddity of this mixer's design is that channel 7 and 8 analog inputs are only mono. Usually these are stereo. So, to achieve a stereo signal, you'll need to use both channel 7 and 8. Number 2 is the cell phone jack. This uses channel 8 as an analog stereo connection. This is a way to free up channel 7, but only as the USB connection. When the cell phone jack is selected, the channel 7 line light will flash to tell you there's no signal. I guess they still share that analog signal path, but it seems you can only use the channel 8 fader to control the level. This is a simple way to connect a cell phone or your laptop. I connected the supplied cable to my old laptop's headphone jack and it played in stereo. Then I tried a regular 1/8-inch stereo cable and that also worked. Number 3, the USB stereo connection. With my Windows 10 laptop and when I use the stereo backing tracks, this is my best choice. You will need to download and install the Zoom ASIO driver first to use this connection. It will go to channel 7, which will receive the L8's outputs 1 and 2 from your computer. Theoretically, the sound should be much better because you're staying digital all the way from your music player to the main outputs of the mixer. And it frees up input 8, so you can now use that channel for other things that can use the input jack. It also frees up sound pads 4, 5, and 6. Number 4, the ASIO 4-channel USB connection. This is handy when you use a DAW to play your backing tracks. The 3 and 4 outputs go to channel 8 as a stereo pair, just like channel 7 uses outputs 1 and 2. But there's no way to split this into 4 separate tracks. And I know many people need this so they can submix instruments live. So this will be a bit of a disappointment for those people who would like to have full mixing control over 4 instruments played back from a DAW. Sorry, just 2 stereo mixes. Number 5 option is something you couldn't do with any other mixer. You can leave your laptop at home. You can record your backing tracks as projects, and you can play them directly from the mixer's SD card. Now, this is a great option if you want more than a stereo mix as a backing track. This allows you to have multi-instrument channels you can mix live, or even mute an instrument if a real person shows up at the gig. So, as example, your live voice is on channel 1 and your guitar in channel 2. Now you can have your backing track band on channels 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Really, the big downside is all the prep work that will be needed so this will run smoothly at the gig. Like you're going to have to transfer all your backing tracks into the L8 in real time by recording them. If you do this, it would be recommended to purchase a few extra SD cards just to use and store your songs as sets. You can put the SD card in your computer and rename the files. Take note that the projects will sort by the naming or the numbering system. So you might be able to create a playlist order by renaming them. Now, my testing wasn't very extensive, so this is just presented here so you can try it yourself and see if it works. Number 6 option is a little weird, using the sound pads. It says that these sound pads can play up to 2 hours of audio each, and they can be set to stop at the end of a file or a loop, so you can have these trigger a song or a group of songs. It has a potential, so I thought it was worth a mention. Your gain controls are very important. No matter what, don't clip to red. Clipping is not nice. A little trick you can use to be more precise is mute the master so you're not going to annoy people. Then set the channel fader at 0, or what we call unity. Now you can use the channel's meter to fine-tune the level as you adjust the gain and shout into your mic. I set it so I only see the orange light at my very loudest voice or guitar part. This is one of the most critical steps in live sound and recording, and it's often overlooked by amateur sound techs. The gain control is more important than the faders for balancing your mix. An unasked for bonus. I have always recorded my live shows just to see how I'm doing and where to make improvements. I always used the Tascam DR40 for this, and this involved a whole whack of cables, and then you had to test it and set levels. Now, all you gotta do is hit the record button, and it's not even just a stereo board mix, it's a full multi-track recording. Cool. What I really like is they gave me 3 full auxiliary sends. They're both stereo headphone jacks for the studio or your in-ear monitors, as well as they will connect to your powered floor monitors using a standard 1/4-inch patch cable. And yes, the EQ and effects can be customized into each one of these mixes. So you have 4 in-ear monitor connections in all. And for me, even though I'm just a solo act, so I don't need all these auxiliaries, I can use one of these to go to my subwoofer. Then I have complete control over it right here at the mixer. Now, the effects. I think they're amazing. I've owned at least 8 mixers, and the built-in effects in all of them but my $3,000 Yamaha 01V sucked big time. Now, I was blown away that I found my exact preference combo of a reverb with a touch of delay and a preset button. And they are all customizable. I've been using my voice live pedal for effects for years now because of the lack of quality built into mixers, but now this is what I can do. A simple press of a button, well, 2 buttons, and then I can start the next song with a different effect. I think the hardest thing to get used to is the fader and control indicator lights. Because the faders are not motorized, you have very limited visual feedback on your settings when you switch scenes or go to the auxiliary mixes. I'm not a big fan of these little lights, but it is really all they could do without making this thing a lot bigger and, of course, a lot more expensive. It'll trip you up because you're going to look at the fader that's halfway up, but you're hearing nothing. You have to notice that little green light at the bottom. And lastly, don't forget, this puppy can save your entire setup as a scene. For me, this is a lifesaver because I'm going to be using it not only live, but I'm going to use it in the studio. You get your sound dialed in just perfectly at the gig and you save it for the next time. Huge time saver. Anyhow, folks, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.